Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. We are 5 days removed from Double or Nothing, and wow. And what y'all think?
Every I saw people talking about this on Reddit today, and I agree. Now that there's more pay-per-views, every time I'm just like, oh, maybe I won't get that one because I bought a lot, and like they're every month now. So I'm like, maybe I won't get that one. And then like by the show, I'm like, yeah, I want to get it. And then I get it.
Right.
And then I'm like, yeah, that was the best thing I've ever seen. And then
Yeah.
every single month, I'm just like, yeah, of course, that's why I spend money. Like, yeah, it was great. Everything about almost everything about it was great. I have some like nitpicky points, but
well, we're gonna
it was
get
great. It was great.
But before we get there, we got to remind everybody: follow us on social media at Elite City Pod everywhere. We even have a YouTube channel now. So
We're moving up in the world.
Yes.
That sounded like the oldest man way to promote that. Like, we are even on that YouTube right now, folks.
Well,
Get
it's
on
our
the
newest
Twitters.
one. It's our newest one because we weren't
is.
on there. So I was just announcing we were on there now.
Yeah, we're on the information superhighway.
Wow. No, that is awesome. Anyways, Double or Nothing started with a bang with the International Championship. Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay. I thought I was surprised that this was first, but I mean it made sense in the long run. It was they set the bar definitely. It was a great match.
Yeah, it was like not that I expected it to be a bad match, but
Same. Good.
This is like a personal preference thing. Roddy Strong is a great wrestler, but I've never found myself being like, oh, Roddy Strong is gonna wrestle. Like he's good, but that's the extent of it. But this match was really, really good. It was outside of maybe one or two other matches. It was one of the top matches of the night for me.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I love that no matter where he goes, everybody just automatically hates Don Callis. And I laughed hysterically when he was just walking to the ring and just there's not even the one ironic person that likes him.
No, I was thinking this. He's like the only really good heel where like you want to see him on TV because you want to boo him.
Right.
It's hard to do. There's even like Christian, people boo him, but everyone kind of likes Christian, right? You'll boo him because you're supposed to, but you like him.
Right.
He's funny. But like Don Callis, you don't hate him. You want to see him on TV so that you get a chance to just absolutely decimate him with boos.
And he plays it so well. Like,
yeah,
it's great.
Like I think I mentioned that the show I went to, I texted you guys during the show being like, what did he say? Because I couldn't hear.
Yes.
Because it was just booing. It was so loud for so long. From like the moment he stepped out until the moment he walked away. It was just I love it.
It's so good.
Whatever town did that first, I think it was somewhere in Texas, like the first time he came out and they booed him the whole, and then now everyone else has picked it up. I love it.
It is
kayfabe at this point.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. He was on commentary. Like I said, I think these guys set the bar for the night. Ospreay is just on another level. He wins this.
Isn't that his catchphrase?
Oh wow, I didn't even try to do that. It is.
At the risk of getting yelled at by Laura, I mean, Ospreay is incredible to watch. I mean, he's just really good.
He's good at everything. He really is.
Yeah, he's very well rounded. It's a good way to put it.
And he's so over. Like he walks out and people go insane. He's like, he has a great entrance. He's a great wrestler. Like, yeah, he's yeah.
Well, he wins the International Championship, and some people said it was a little too soon. Whatever. I agreed with the win. I thought Roderick Strong was a good champion, but Orange Cassidy was like the workhorse champion. Roderick Strong, he defended the belt like what, 3 times, if that.
Yeah, I think Ospreay's what the belt needs.
Yeah, it's going to go to another workhorse champion. But then we found out on Dynamite that there was going to be a Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet match, which that's a mouthful.
But it's such a cool match.
It was a very cool match.
They did one other one once before, right? That Ospreay also won.
Oh, really? Did he win them both now? I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
didn't they do one on? They did one in Daly's place.
Good call. They did. Wow. Your memory.
But it's a good match. I love it. Like I love because they don't tell you who's in it. They don't. Did this time? Did they tell you how many people were going to be in it? Or,
No.
Did they say? No. They have no idea, right? It just people are going to show up. I love it. It's a great concept.
And this time, the announce team literally sold that. They were like, "We don't even know. We just know that the match is happening." Like, for once, AEW did something and explained it to the point of you weren't asking questions.
Yeah. Now, before we get into that match, did you find the Dynamite was weirdly like disjointed this week? Not this match, just the show.
Yeah, something odd happened somewhere.
Because a couple times, like the announcers seemed a little flustered, like they got the names of belts wrong. A couple, I felt like they were distracted by something.
Yeah, unless.
And then they played the wrong promo once, or they announced the wrong promo. And
yeah, they did announce the wrong promo once.
It seemed like something was going on, like they were distracted by it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe everybody have an off night, but you're right. It was kind of spread throughout the show,
or maybe someone was like, maybe Tony Khan was talking extra in their headsets or something, and they were
maybe.
True.
So I was gonna say maybe there was a lot more chatter in their ears.
Yeah, maybe Vince McMahon showed up and started just insulting people
for no reason.
What are you doing?
Like the horrible person that he is.
Get it out of there.
He just has a headset that connects to any wrestling show ever.
Just so he can demean people.
Right.
That's what he does. Yeah. Wasn't it Mick Foley who quit? He quit over that, right?
I'm pretty sure he did, or he told him he was going to if he didn't rescind what he said.
He did commentary for 3 episodes, and he was just Vince just screaming at me the entire show.
I vaguely remember somebody a couple years ago just took the headset off, and that made Vince more mad, or something.
I was gonna say, I remember reading about it. Wasn't it Corey Graves? I mean, I don't know if it sounds like it. It sounds like it was.
Yeah, they took the headset off and just. Yeah, that made Vince more mad.
Not to go too off topic, but that sounds like now it's probably, I'm sure it's better, but that sounds like the worst job in wrestling, where you're supposed to just use the exact words he wants you to use while he's just cursing at you incessantly for 3 hours, and you have to remember to hit your marks and throw to the sponsors and remember to say all his catchphrase. It sounds terrible.
Oh, that does sound terrible. But what wasn't terrible was the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet match.
Yes, that was great. I loved it.
It was.
I think that should be their signature match. They should do it once a year, kind of like a Royal Rumble type thing. Just hype it up, make it a thing.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, that'd be super cool. It looks like we're gonna have the Summer of Ospreay, because Will also wins this match and gets a title shot at Forbidden Door.
I was legit stunned.
Same.
I'm surprised. Why are they? It just seems okay, they put a belt on him. Why is he now going for a belt that Swerve has? They just gave to Swerve.
I thought that was weird at first. When it first happened, I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
But then I read it somewhere. Someone said AEW's biggest problem, one of their biggest problems, is they don't strike when things are necessarily super hot, because they have a planned storyline, and if someone gets hot, they'll wait a couple months, right? Because they booked Swerve to win the belt at whatever he won it at. So Dynasty. So we're not gonna have one earlier because he's playing. This time they just kind of Ospreay's over and everyone likes, and just go all in on it. No pun intended. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, if that's the plan, I'm cool with that. That's awesome.
It does kind of just throw you for a left swing out of nowhere.
It was strange. I was very surprised.
I remember thinking at the beginning, oh, okay, Ospreay's in it to give the match legitimacy, but there's no way he's winning it.
Right.
But I mean, hey, he did, and like I said, it looks like we're gonna have the Summer of Ospreay.
Now I know it's early, but does anyone think he's gonna win the belt?
I possibility for All In, but not till the end of summer.
Yeah. How long was it?
I mean, at Forbidden Door, because he's facing Swerve at Forbidden Door. I don't think he's gonna win.
No, not at Forbidden Door.
How long was it before Brock took the title back off of Kofi after he won it?
And that was actually a while. Like that title reign lasted kind of a while.
It was pretty quick though.
And then the match lasted like 13 seconds.
It was a smash. I mean, it was just
horrible.
a crushing match. It was bad. It was.
I think this is Ospreay hasn't lost a singles match yet. I think this is how they're going to get Don Callis to leave him. Either he loses and Don Callis leaves him, or Don Callis screws him somehow, either on purpose or by accident or something. Because Will Ospreay can't be with Don Callis anymore. Don Callis is so hated, and Will Ospreay is so beloved.
So we'll have more reason to boo Don Callis.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, then that would make perfect sense. Like he does the doesn't screw him like on purpose, like goes to get the ref's attention.
Like an oopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see that happening.
Because last year's Forbidden Door, he helped him.
Mm-hmm.
True. Very true.
Right. So maybe this year, maybe they run it back. Maybe they have something similar where like he tries to help him and then it doesn't work or something like that.
Yeah. Hey.
Did you know I was at that Forbidden Door, by the way?
No, I don't believe it.
I was there. I know I never mentioned it yet.
Rick was at Forbidden Door?
I haven't mentioned it yet, but I was
there. Lies. Anyway.
But I was very surprised by the Ospreay thing, but now that I've had a couple days to think about it, I like it.
Yeah. Same. I'm all in. Excuse the pun.
Now what do you think of it being an AEW guy against an AEW guy at Forbidden Door when it's typically been a New Japan guy against an AEW guy?
I don't have a problem with it because I think the rest of the card is going to be utterly insane. So
I almost like it better because because you could think it could go either way. Like usually when they bring somebody in from another promotion, you're like, oh, there's no way they're winning that because they're not going to take the title with them back to Japan. But when you have it intercompany like that, I really think like it could go either way.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I think it adds in a little bit more of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not risk factor, but like it heightens it a little bit.
It makes it less predictable for sure.
Right. Yeah, so you really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'll take that. Forbidden Door is going to be unreal. Adam Cole returned, or we're going to put return in quotes here, because his return was interrupted by MJF's return, which was awesome.
Yes. And MJF dressed like 2002 Triple H.
Again, which was also incredible.
Which I loved.
Had to be on purpose, right?
Had to be.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of wrestling nerd who we noticed it. I'm sure he noticed it. I'm sure and Tony Khan was telling me like, yeah, perfect. Like they're so nerds that I'm sure, and I'm not saying that as an insult because we have a wrestling podcast, so we're also nerds.
1000%.
But there's no way that was an accident. Now, do you think he's done with the scarves before we get to it? Because he had his little segment at backstage, like they showed the shot inside his house, right? Where presumably his house,
right?
Where they had like the mannequin wearing the scarf, and he put the ring on, but he didn't come out with the scarf. So is he done with the scarf?
Could be.
I don't know.
I can see it.
I mean, I definitely could see it, especially if he's doing like I don't want to say darker, but if he's going to do a little character change, like, lose the scarf.
Yeah, because it seems like he's being like a more serious, like no more screwing around MJF.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, you're right. The scarf was not there. Well, we learned actually that Adam Cole's injury might be a little worse than expected because there's still no timetable for his return. That's why they had MJF attack him to give us finality with that, so he doesn't, I guess, like get healthy in the middle of an MJF run or something.
I like how they did that. Actually, I thought it was good.
Same here, and it also like okay, it gives the fans what they want, but it also like puts MJF like now that we know that Cole's still hurt, you'd be like, man, he attacked a guy that wasn't cleared. That's awesome. Or that's pathetic. Like,
and I liked it because like if Adam Cole's not cleared, no offense to the rest of the Undisputed Kingdom, but like MJF is not feuding with them.
100%. Yeah.
Like he's what's he gonna do? Feud with like, no offense to Wardlow or Roderick Strong, but like he's above them at this point. I don't want to see him feud with them. I would have wanted to see him feud with Adam Cole, but if Adam Cole's not there, I think it was a good idea to just be like, I'll beat him up, and then I'll move on to something else, and he'll come back one day, and they'll have a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think he's going to do? We know that he is going to return on Dynamite next week.
Were you surprised he wasn't on Dynamite this week? I was a little surprised.
I was, but in the, like, after writing out like the outline for tonight, I didn't realize like how much happened on Dynamite. Yeah. So having a segment with him, like, you would have had to lose something. So making us wait
segments
another
are always
week,
long, which some people don't like, but I think is fine.
And making us wait another week just makes you want it more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I don't know what he's going to do, because he's not going to go after the world title right away, because at least right now it's kind of booked to be like Swerve and Ospreay right there. So I don't think he's going to, but I don't know where he's going to go, because he has to be in like a top level feud, but I don't know who it would be with.
I want one of two things to happen. I either want him to just straight up join the Elite or join AEW, like Team AEW. Like,
I mean, he has an AEW tattoo now, so I feel like
yes. I got an argument with somebody online over this. Believe it or not, I was fighting with people.
Someone online was upset.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, well, first off, he has it there so he can get it covered," and I was like, why do you suspect he's going to get covered? And then they gave me the when he signs with WWE. And I like right there, I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, did you notice that across his shin, he has the Create a Pro Wrestling logo? And I was like, that's where he went to wrestling school. They tried to argue with me again. And I was like, it kind of looks like it's going to be a roadmap of his career. Like, yes, he has an entire leg. If he goes to WWE or if he goes to Japan or I'm sure he will add to that, but he's not going to get it, covered up or removed. And then they went on saying how easy it was to remove a tattoo from the back of your calf. And I was like, we're not arguing the fact.
I feel like he has it there, I honestly feel like he has it there because when he just isn't being a wrestler, like if he wants to be in whatever else he wants, he can wear pants and you don't see it.
Yes.
It's not like he got it stuck on the side of his neck.
Right. I feel like even if, there are wrestlers who have gone between both companies, and even if look at some of the legacies some of them have left, why would you want to cover that up? You know what I mean? That's a part of your story of your your career and such. Like, why would you want to cover that up? Are you ashamed of it? It's not like an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend or, why would you want to cover
that's how the internet treats these things. They do treat it like a relationship, right? Like you're breaking up with them by switching companies when no, you're just getting a different job.
Well, see, I think there was that, and I also think they were stating that like AEW would be like if you got like a WHL tattoo, like I think that's the way they were looking at it. Like, it's not even the minor leagues; it's like
it's
one step above the.
But see, the way I look at it is like if you win the Stanley Cup, back to go to hockey reference. If you win the Stanley Cup with Pittsburgh and you get a Pittsburgh Penguins tattoo on your arm, and then you go play for Chicago, so what?
Exactly.
They don't scratch your name off the cup under the Penguins.
Like who
I mean,
cares?
They should if you go play for Chicago, but that's just
right. Yeah, Chicago was a bad example, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean that's part of your career. You know what I mean? It's silly. The internet's just silly.
People do treat it like it's a relationship,
right?
Like your boyfriend or girlfriend left you for another person. When people are going to change jobs. It's
right.
You obviously want the best wrestlers to be on the show that you watch, of course, right? But if they aren't, that's their decision, and they're not doing it to hurt anybody other than try to help their careers. So I don't know.
Right. Well, even like I said about the WHL tattoo, those women just won a championship. They're not always going to play for that team, but they might get that logo tattooed on them because they won the championship.
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah. And I do think the reason it's on his leg and not on his neck, because he's not, first of all,
because he's a normal human being.
He's not into making really terrible decisions. And
he's not white trash.
And second of all, if he wants to go somewhere and not be a wrestler, he can just wear pants and it's not a thing. He can do anything. He's a good looking guy. He can be in whatever. Right. So,
yeah. And just real quick. And if he ever does sign with WWE, that's where his wrestling boots would be. So there wouldn't be an AEW logo on, it's in a perfect spot. It was planned out. Anyways, people of the internet.
And if he does sign with WWE, it makes sense. If he did that,
Right.
So that if he ever does sign with WWE, he can wear boots. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And he will probably have a like WrestleMania logo, or when he gets if he ever goes there and gets a WrestleMania moment, I'm sure he'll get a tattoo of that. Like, why wouldn't you?
Wasn't it Earthquake who left? He had a tiger tattoo on his arm, and he went to WCW and they made him the shark, and he got the tiger changed to a shark, and then they killed the gimmick, and he was like, yeah, but now I have a shark tattoo.
Wow, commitment. That's the old school.
So yeah, don't do that. This is a better idea.
Correct. Much better.
No, you have to get 17 laser treatments and have it removed because you're loyal to the brand.
It didn't happen, but can you imagine how funny it would be if Cody went to WWE and they're like, "Oh yeah, but we can't use that. We made a new logo for you. It's different." So you gotta fix that.
He gets it tattooed on the other side of his neck. Just walks the other way all the time.
They only show the other side of his body. Yeah.
You can only see his face.
He's doing really well for himself, but that tattoo was still such a bad idea.
Oh, so bad.
Such a bad idea. And I'm covered in tattoos, and I would not get my neck tattooed, let alone the first one.
And it's not even it's crooked.
And it's his logo. I'd be like me getting Blasco tattooed on my throat.
And it's huge, and it's yeah.
White trash.
I still remember when he came out with that, I was like, that's not real. That can't be real. And then it was real. And I'm like, whoa.
And here we are. Even we thought that was a work. Cody's tattoo was so bad we thought it was a work. That's just amazing.
But yeah, MJF's back. Good for him.
Yeah. And right after MJF's return, we had the trios titles, the Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle. This match was brutal. We're gonna say Pac's chest literally had Jay White's handprint on it.
Yeah, but was he wet for this match or was he dry? It's really weird when he's a dry man. I'm just assuming
I think he was wet.
He was very. Yeah, he was. I had to think about that.
It's just weird when he's dry and his hair's frizzy, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, when he has his glasses on too.
When he's not a wrestler, I don't know how he looks recently because I know he has a.
He looks like an insane person.
But when he's like. They did when he was in WWE, they did that Table for Three show they used to have on the network where wrestlers would sit down and have dinner and talk about wrestling. And he was wearing a button-up shirt and it had his hair in a ponytail and had glasses on.
Yeah, and he has his glasses on all the time.
He looks like he's a high school teacher.
Yeah.
And then now he looks like he's a person who a high school teacher was killed by.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there was a picture recently of him and Finn Balor when they were I think it was when they were in Ireland or England or something, and he looked about that. Yeah, he had his hair in a ponytail, the glasses on, and he had on the Newcastle United shirt, and in his shorts, and he just looked like Dry Pack, like he did, WWE.
Yes, he can look completely different. When I remember because I knew him as Neville in WWE, and then when he showed up in AEW, I was like, that's the same guy. He looks completely different.
Yeah,
you called him Dry Pack. I'm dying.
It's weird.
I can't even breathe.
He's got to be wet, okay? His hair has to be greasy and gross, and he has to be wet.
This is a TV-14 podcast and NC-17 podcast now talking about Pac being wet.
It was just the way you said it so nonchalant. and then.
Do I need to disappear for 45 minutes now?
Oh no, that was wonderful.
It was as if that was an established name for him.
Yes.
He said it so calmly.
Yeah.
Inside of you, there are two wolves. One is Dry Pack, one is Wet Pack.
It's true. Speaking of returns, the crazy man himself, Juice Robinson, returned and helped the Bang Bang Gang retain the titles. They were due.
I love Juice Robinson.
Same here. And the Bang Bang Gang was due for shenanigans wins. They haven't had a Bang Bang Gang win in a long time. And first off, him coming back, is his hair, is it jet black or is it just really dark brown now?
He looked different. I don't know what it was.
And insane.
Yeah. But like he's the kind of weirdo, like weird crazy guy that the Bang Bang Gang needs.
Yes.
Like they were missing him when he was gone.
Yeah.
They need that kind of like insane energy.
Did you notice his pants had a holster airbrushed on them? But
no.
Yeah. Yes. It was the most amazing thing I have ever seen in my life. They had pistols in him and everything.
I tell you, him and Tony Storm must be like, I'm sure they're the most boring couple of all time. Like at home, they're probably just like sitting quietly reading novels, being like, yes, can you please pass me a glass of tea? But then they go on TV and they're like the most insane characters you've ever seen. I love it.
Yeah.
They need to have at least one interaction between the two of them. There has to be.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Like one of those ones, like they're doing like the Bang Bang Gang is having like an interview with Renee, and then Tony would just walk in and interrupt it.
Yeah.
And just have juice.
As if they should just act normal during that, and like.
Yeah.
Or if they should act extra crazy. I don't know, but I want to see either one.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing. During the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet match, I hope I never have to say that again.
Yeah, they didn't need to stick Forbidden Door in there. They could have just called it a Casino Gauntlet match. They didn't have to make it. What was the
CG?
What was the one that they did like at the holidays one year? It was a really long name.
Oh.
It was like the $10,000 12 Nights of Christmas Gauntlet. Like was something.
Yeah.
It was some whole thing.
Do you think this is them being self-aware?
100%.
Yeah.
Or
Tony Khan is just manic and was like, "This is the name," and he just like scrawls.
True. That they teased Ospreay versus White during that match, and they kind of alluded to their past feuds. Do you think this is like do you think this was a legit tease or just one of those like, oh, this could happen one day?
Yeah, I think it was one of those little like cool callback moments that they do in Royal Rumble sometimes, where like
I don't see this happening.
I like Jay White a lot. I wish he would get like a big feud like that because he hasn't really had it. He had the MJF feud, but then since then he's kind of just been like in a trio. True. I would like it. I would like to see it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay. I mean, I was all about it, and then y'all felt differently. So I really have no argument against it because I kind of agree with you now.
I mean, I'd like to see it, but I just don't think it'll happen.
That's the best way to put it. Now that you say it, like I think I was more hyped on the possibility of it than when you say it out loud. I don't see it happen. I really don't.
Jay White has kind of had an odd AEW career. Like he's been there like a year now, which I was shocked by that it's been a year.
Oh yeah.
But like he had a feud with MJF that was pretty good, and then I felt like he was going to be, maybe they signed a lot of people all at the same time because I felt like he was going to be like a top level guy and he hasn't really been a top level guy.
It seems like Jay White is the kind of guy that you would have in a top feud or you'd see a lot of because he's a big name for a lot of, between promotions, and we haven't seen a lot of Jay White.
It's been weird. It's been weird. And I don't exactly know why.
Same here. I was trying to think
over. People want to see him.
Exactly. But see, I think the weird part is the stupid. Well, I shouldn't say they're stupid because they're good matches, but the trios titles, I think they're just not over. I hate to say it.
I was really excited. Like, we talked about it on the podcast when they came out. We were really excited for the trios titles, but they have kind of killed everything. Like they killed the tag division because they can't really be in both for some reason. And they're kind of killing Jay White. Like I don't know.
I mean, they're even kind of killing the Guns.
And the Acclaimed, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the Acclaimed.
It's been weird.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, not to make this a thing again, but like...
No, go.
Punk leaving kind of screwed up a lot of stuff, and I feel like Jay White was in line to do something with him.
True.
And then that didn't happen. So...
That's true.
And Tony Khan doesn't like to change plans. So I see, like, if he booked like a 3 or 4 month Jay White CM Punk feud, and now CM Punk's not there, he's just going to be like, well, I'll just drop that and not rebook it.
That makes
sense. Yeah. And you have to think if everything else is booked that way too, then that Jay White is the odd man out, literally, right. Because everybody else would have something. The guy that you're supposed to be with gets fired.
I mean, it's kind of like Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is in the same spot. Like, I'm sure he was supposed to do something with Punk and then didn't, and he kind of just like floated around too.
That's very true.
But I would like to see him do more for sure because he's funny, he's talented, can cut good promos. I'm kind of surprised he's not doing more.
I agree. And they're trying their hardest to get those titles over, but I don't think people are buying it.
I just feel like you can't get the trios titles and the tag titles over at the same time, and they're both kind of suffering now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Bucks had the tag titles, but do they really mean anything at this point?
True. And maybe everybody always talks about, like, should there be a brand split? Maybe not a brand split. Maybe there should be like titles that just stay on a certain show.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're the world champion, you go between the men's and women's world champion go between shows. But like, you know, obviously keep the TNT title on the show that's on TNT. Keep the TBS title on the show that's on TBS.
And then split up the other ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, too, that's like where WWE went wrong was when they started mashing everything together because the separate shows had like separate pay-per-views, separate storylines.
And they had kind of a separate feel, like SmackDown and Raw felt different from each other.
And it worked really well because it gave the stories time to develop, and you had like these really, really good scenarios and matches, and everything built up, and it was paced really well. Rather now everything's like crossed between the two shows, and it's just like total madness. And I feel kind of like the same way, just my preference with AEW, I feel like if they would keep things a little more separate, like keep things sticking to each show, and then if you do something similar with like your pay-per-view layout, you could build up something better, I think, and make it a better quality overall in a long-term thing.
I did kind of like what they were doing when it was Punk's Collision, because it wasn't an actual brand split, but it was like House of Black is going to be on Collision and FTR is going to be on Collision. And I think Wardlow for a while was there. Like Christian was only on there, and like it didn't mean they couldn't go to the other show, but they had storylines that like the problem I have with Collision.
Yeah.
The problem I have with Collision now is you don't need to watch it. Like I haven't watched it in a month, and I don't think I've missed anything.
I think when you keep things more separated, it makes the pacing better. Is overall.
Yeah, I liked Collision because when it started because if you wanted to see like what Christian was up to, you had to watch Collision in order to see it.
Yeah.
Whereas now you don't and I think that's probably why we've talked about this before too. I think it has an effect on ticket sales because you don't know who's going to be at any given show that you go to, right? Like if Dynamite's coming to your town and you really like Jay White, is he going to be there? Maybe. But if you knew he was like a Collision guy, and he was on almost every episode of Collision, and then when Collision came to your town, you're like, oh, there's a really good chance he's going to be there.
Right. That's a good point. I never thought of that. Yeah,
that's how I always thought when I was getting tickets for, Raw or SmackDown. I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to probably see so-and-so tonight. And then if SmackDown came to town, you knew who you're getting for that night. You know what I mean? Like it was for a while, it was separate. And then they kind of like merged everything together. And that's when I really thought everything, like the quality really went downhill.
Yeah. I don't think they need to do like strict.
No.
But like 90% of the time you should be on your show. And then if there's a reason for you to be on the other show, that's fine. But yeah, maybe splitting the titles is the way to do it. Maybe having them on their own shows and the wrestlers would move around, but that if, two guys are feuding over the, Continental title and that's on Dynamite, and then the guys feuding over the international title are on Collision. Then you kind of know who's going to be where.
Yeah. See, they need to do something like that. That would just simplify everything. It would make
their roster's huge, so it would make sense.
Right. It would be a good way to split up your roster too, to make sure there's more TV time for everyone.
Yeah.
Because right now you can legitimately go like a month without seeing some wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, that's legit. Wow.
And it's fine. Like it works because they have such a big roster. Like it's not like it's hurting the show necessarily, but it would be better for the wrestlers, I think, if they were more. Yeah, that's a good idea. Split up the titles.
Oh, well, speaking of titles, the women's world title was defended, and it was timeless Toni Storm versus the Professor, Serena Deeb. Both of these ladies proved like how technical of wrestlers they were. I mean, we all knew Serena was, but I mean, the match that Toni Storm gave us was phenomenal.
I think this was her best timeless Toni Storm match.
I'll agree to that. This match was so good.
Like the gimmick has been a bit of a like I think she's figured it out better now, but the gimmick for a while was kind of a problem in terms of her wrestling, because how could she be like a serious wrestler and still be in character?
True.
And now I think she's figured it out, and this was a really good match.
What a character!
It's a great character.
Oh, it's a great.
She's great.
I felt a little bad for Serena Deeb though, because like she was supposed to be the face, and no one wanted her to be the face.
Right. Well, that's what I was just gonna say. It was a special moment for Serena after she was dealing with her. It wasn't. I wrote down an injury, but it was a seizure. She was dealing with some seizures.
Like pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she said she had 3 and 5 months or something like that.
That's scary.
Yeah. And they were like out of nowhere. But she's good now.
Scary.
Yeah.
But I did feel a little bad for her because she had some moments where like it was supposed to be her like face thing. Like she would take on, Toni Storm and knock her down or whatever, and the crowd would just boo her. And I felt kind of bad because like I love Toni Storm, but she's
right.
This did feel kind of like a face turn for Toni Storm though, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because they kind of had her like overcome adversity. Like she got beaten up. She got kind of outclassed technically, but she managed to keep up with Serena Deeb, who's obviously a well-known technical wrestler. Mm-hmm. This kind of seemed like Toni Storm isn't just a funny character. She's a good wrestler. She's tough. She's like they really put her over here.
Now, my question for you guys is, how long does Toni Storm keep the belt? Because if you take it away from her now, like, I don't care who beats her. I just don't care.
I think the only way they take it away from her is if like someone like Jamie Hayter comes back.
But see, I think it has to be a long feud. Like that would be awesome. But do you just give Hayter?
I think so too. I think there has to be build up. Like there has to be build up before Toni loses it, because she's just so good and so over right now.
Yeah.
It would have to be a really big feud, really big, like huge.
Now Hayter does make sense.
Could it end it like All In, and like that would make sense. Wow. But you're right. It would have to be built up. It'd have to be something.
It can't just be like, oh, somebody has this match with her and it's over. It has to really. Right. I think it has to build up.
Oh, it's whatever they do. I mean, Toni has just been unreal as timeless Toni Storm and champion.
I do think she could continue it if she lost. She could just become like extra delusional.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, it would.
I mean, the campier the better.
Like, what's the movie she's basing this on? Like it's not. I didn't get small. It's the pictures that got small. She could be that. Sunset Boulevard. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the names escaped me, but
she could be that role where like she's like now she's the starlet who like time has passed and she's kind of clinging to her past.
Oh,
like
man.
That would work out great.
That would be so good.
And she'd kill it.
Oh, she would totally kill it.
She could do that with like a Death Becomes Her kind of.
Or that.
Yeah.
Like, because it was what was Meryl Streep was like the aging star, the leading lady, and she was aging and she was trying to cling to it for dear life, to cling to her youth and her beauty.
And she could, or she could just go nuts with it. She could like fall apart. Like she could end up like, remember when she first started this gimmick and she was like showing up with no shoes on and a bathrobe and like Saraya was like, I saw her in the parking lot just wandering around. Like she could go nuts. She could just be like confused and scared and like not sure what she's doing.
It almost works that way because she's like so out of her time. You know what I mean? Like it almost works like she's a time traveler that just came and like got stuck.
And then she could easily just go out of it one day when this gimmick runs its course. She could just be like, "Oh, what happened?" and then just like snap back to like Toni Storm.
Like in total denial of it,
and forget that and pretend like that never happened. People would ask her about it. She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Why are you in color? What?
Like when she didn't know who Ruby Soho was because her hair was different.
That was, I forgot about that. That was freaking amazing.
She's incredible.
She really is.
I would like to see her on commentary again though, because she's so good at that too.
She's so good on commentary. Do not touch my child.
It has been. The camera would cut to her and she'd immediately do like this really awkward, weird pose.
She's fumbling with the title the whole time. She's like, here, hold this.
She's great.
She's so good.
Who was it that she confused for Tony Schiavone? She thought one of the other announcers was Tony Schiavone. Oh, like, you look good today. You look very different from last week, but I think you've been getting some sun or something. And then the next week she's like, Tony, what happened to you? You were in such better shape last week. Were you up all night?
Who was it?
I think Excalibur was like, no, that was like was Ian Riccaboni or something.
I was gonna say, was it Riccaboni?
I think so.
I think it was.
She's amazing.
She really is.
She can do whatever she wants. If she wants to hold the title for indefinitely, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
We had Trent and Orange Cassidy, who, kudos, Orange Cassidy came out with his original music. Forgot how awesome that song was.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it better.
Same here now.
I think it fits him a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree.
I like his current one, but I like that a little bit more.
This match was I mean, I don't want to say it was the throwaway match of the pay-per-view, but I mean, it was good. Don Callis got booed out of the building again, which I thought was like, my buddy watches the pay-per-views with me, and I've turned him into an AEW fan now. And like, he still sometimes, he doesn't quite have the wrestling brain yet. Like, he tries to use logic. And he just was like,
"Is this your friend that was on the pod with us that one time?"
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I forget everybody knows Brent.
It is fun when people who aren't like wrestling fans watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, "Why would that dude walk down again?" And I was like, "To get this exact response." And he's like, "Well, that's dumb." And I was like, "Well, yes, in real life, if that happened to you, you would have went home like the first time. You would have been like, nope, I'm never going in public again. No, he's gonna walk right down the middle and act like nothing's wrong." And but again, I thought that was great that he walked down and got booed out of the building again.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are we? Orange Cassidy wins, and he quote unquote leaves with Don Callis because something else happened on Wednesday. But Trent, we're gonna quote unquote retires, and then
I hated that. That's stupid. Like, well, I'm done. No, you're not. Like, everyone knows you're not.
Yeah,
what's the point of this?
Yeah, I'm just trying. Yeah, it was dumb. And I thought it was dumb then also.
Remember the time Cody lost to Malachi and then took his boots off and left him in the ring? And people were like, what are you doing, Cody?
Yeah. Again, he lost one match.
What a drama queen.
Everyone talks now like, how could AEW let him go? He's such a big star. I'm like, did you see him in AEW? He did a lot of really dumb angles.
Yeah.
Well, somebody who gets a neck tattoo isn't usually the smartest bunch in the bunch, so.
The boots thing, I'm like, you lost one match once. What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Anyway, that reminded me of this, though. Trent's be like, well, I'm retiring. Really? Because you lost a single match to Orange Cassidy.
And Don Callis offers Orange Cassidy said contract on Dynamite, and he says no. Then Stat and Stokely show up to draw his attention. He gets attacked from behind by Trent, and Trent looks like the newest member of the Don Callis family. I was actually okay with it. I thought that was a cool little, like, roundabout small angle that they did from the pay-per-view.
At first, it was weird that Stat and Stokely were there, but I kind of like that they remembered that Statlander has a relationship with, like, she was in a group with them, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
He still hangs out with them, but yeah, I like Trent. I like Trent joining Don Callis.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously Chuck Taylor had to retire, so he's known as a tag team wrestler. So, you know, you could pair him with anybody over there. And he's also, I really want Roppongi Vice to get back together, but I think that ship has sailed, but I'm going to fight for it. But yeah, I mean, he works with the Don Callis family. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Next, we have probably the worst match on the card.
FTW probably about it.
Yeah, FTW Championship. I feel so bad for Hook and Shibata because they had to wrestle with Jericho. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't care about this. I ate pizza and bullshitted with Brett and
I don't remember. I remember
That's
parts
probably the better option.
I remember parts of it, but I think I just looked at my phone for like this was a match where I get what they were doing. They're trying to make it like, oh, Jericho's putting this title on the line and he's a quote unquote thinks he's a fighting champion, but like he just doesn't actually, he weasels his way out of matches. Like he got them to fight each other. He got what's his name to help him.
Right.
But like I don't care. Like
yeah, I just don't care at all.
And this is
Jericho shit.
This is a prime AEW. This doesn't need to be 15 minutes.
Mm-mm.
Like they do this a lot where like every match has to be, no, it doesn't. Every match doesn't have to be 15 minutes. This could have been 6 and it would have accomplished the exact same thing. And I would have been less annoyed because I wouldn't have to sit through 15 minutes of it. It just, AEW does this where like, I know you like Rocky Romero, but like they had Rocky Romero against Jon Moxley on Dynamite and like the match was fine, but like I watched it late and I will be honest, I skipped half of it because I knew it was going to be 15 or 20 minutes.
Right.
And I knew there's zero chance of Rocky Romero winning that match. There's zero chance of anything really interesting happening in that match. Like it'll be a good match. But like I know I could just go to the end.
100%.
That Jericho's everything Jericho does, like I just feel like I can just skip it because like the end was fine. The end had a thing that happened, right? The bounty hunter actually collected a bounty, I guess, finally.
Oh, I forgot about it. Well, see, I had like zero attention again, so I do remember that, which is awesome for Brian Keith.
Is it?
I was gonna say now I feel bad because he's now caught up in this. So, the only thing
group talking. I know we're going to talk about Dynamite. This little group that Jericho has, where he's just like, I know that everyone hates me, but I'm going to act like I don't know everyone hates me, and I'm going to be a egotistical jerk, but I don't realize that. Isn't this just a worse version of the Jericho Appreciation Society?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And he's got the Redwood and he's got the Bad Apple or whatever. Like he's giving him goofy nicknames. Like it's the same thing. It's just worse.
Good call. Yeah, it's way worse.
Not like there's no one there with a hat. I don't like it.
It's such good shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I get what he's trying to do. I get that his thing is like, I'm getting booed, so I'm going to lean into it. And like, they think I'm full of myself, so I can act extra full of myself, right? But like, it's not good. It's not good TV. It's not interesting. Like the Young Bucks I like the Young Bucks, what they're doing right now. This is not a shot at the current Young Bucks. I like their what they're doing right now. But in general, that's why I don't like the Young Bucks, because their whole thing is like, we know what you think, but we're doing different things. But we actually know that you shut up. Just have a character that you believe in and that people care about. Or don't care. Like you don't have to there doesn't have to be 17 winks and nods. Like I'm a bad guy, but I'm gonna act like a good guy. But I know I'm really a bad. Shut up. Just no. That's boring. I don't want to see it. It's just that segment, the learning tree thing. It was like they decided, hey, we're gonna spend 10 minutes or however long it was, and just make bad TV for 10 minutes in the middle of our show that like otherwise is pretty good. We're just going to stick in a segment that we know is bad. You know is bad. We're just going to put it there anyway. Like, what are you doing?
I had the TV muted, so I can't even tell you.
The only funny thing was he came out with this stupid new shirt being like, I have a new shirt. Does anyone want one? Does anyone want one? And then he just put it down on the turnbuckle and continued. That was kind of funny. I liked that because that
was he didn't give it away.
No, that was kind of funny.
That's just kind of funny.
I liked that. But like the rest of it sucked.
Well, moving right along.
It does one more thing.
It's like The Simpsons. Like stop, he's already dead. Yeah. Every time they cart Jericho out,
Jay will appreciate this because she was watching at the time, I think. Do you remember that Royal Rumble where it was like Kane and the Big Show just slowly eliminated everyone?
Yes.
It was like 2016 or sometime around then. I forget. And like, that was them going, we know you don't want to see Kane and Big Show in 2016, but we're going to have them be on TV anyway, just to make you mad. Like,
was that?
Nobody liked that.
Yeah, was that the one where nobody thought? No, there was another one, I think, where nobody knew Brock was going to show up, and it was like a total surprise to everybody.
That was a different one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This was like for like 15 minutes they had Kane and Big Show like
I remember that.
Slowly beat someone down and then like slowly and like laughingly throw them over the ropes, and everyone was mad. Yeah. And you could tell that they were just like, we're going to do something that no one wants to see to make you mad. I'm like, but I'm supposed to be enjoying this show. That's the point of going to watch the show, right? Like
the opposite of why I
feel like they know we just really don't like Jericho, and they're like, put him out there anyways.
Yeah, but that's not what they should be doing.
Right.
Right. I'm not disagreeing with you.
If I'm making a TV show and they're like, we know everyone hates this character in the TV show, so let's give him extra time. That you're just being a jerk.
It's like Poochie, but
he's
worse.
Poochie. Yeah.
Wow, he is.
Are we gonna have to change the shirt? Everybody should be asking, "Where's Jericho?"
Yeah, it's terrible. It's just bad. It's just bad.
Wow, he's Poochie. That's incredible.
He like the thing is you should do, right? You know that he's like, oh, people are booing me, so I'm gonna like give them reason to boo me by being just a terrible TV character. Like I'm just not gonna be interesting in any way. Mm-hmm. Right. But like, no, what you could do is everyone's booing me, so I'm going to be just a heel. Just going to do bad stuff and just be a heel and not like purposely have bad segments that no one likes.
Yeah. I mean,
and you know there's going to be another one because this whole thing now is, you know how I love TV time, right, folks? I'm going to be on TV even more. Like, and then they're going to put them on TV even more. Like, it's just bad. Just bad.
Poochie works for him too because Poochie thinks he's cool and he's not, and nobody.
Right.
Like it just is the perfect analogy.
It's just so weird that you know that they knew that segment was bad, and they're like, "We're going to do it anyway because that's the point of the segment is to be bad." And like, but why would you do that? Why would you purposely have something that's not good on your show? Like sometimes things don't work. That's fine, but like.
But like going back to the Don Callis thing, like if Jericho was out there doing that and the crowd was just giving it to him, then I could buy it. But the crowd's also not 100% quiet either, but it's like 50% or less.
And like the boos he does get, I think, aren't like, we know that we're supposed to boo you and it's fun, we're all having a good time booing you.
Yeah, it's like, get the hell out of here.
It's like legit, like, boo, get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to see you on TV.
You can tell during a show when something is not going over the way they want it to because it's just quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like an awkward quiet.
He's just,
and this is gonna last for months and
like,
months and months.
Yeah.
Right. You know it is.
Doesn't his band have shows or something to do?
No, but I feel like he purposely schedules so he has time, and then when he's not, if he is gone, he'll film a backstage thing the week before to air it the next week to make sure that he's on.
He's gonna start doing promos on the road.
I saw someone did like a chart of most appearances on Dynamite since Dynamite started, and he's like by far in the lead.
Yeah,
like I think they said he only missed like 2 or 3 episodes, because even when he's not there, he would like do backstage segments that they'd air, or they'd air a promo or something like. And then after him, like 15, 20 episodes behind is MJF, and like it feels like Jericho is outstayed his welcome, and it does not feel like MJF is outstayed his welcome because MJF is entertaining and people like to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks. Sucks so bad.
Well, speaking of something that didn't suck, the IWGP Eliminator match between Mox, who was the champion, or who is still the champion, versus Takeshita. Takeshita's amazing. I don't think we have to talk about that. I thought this match was phenomenal. I wish Takeshita wasn't a heel, though.
I wish Takeshita won.
Same here. I mean, you talked about that. Oh, by the way, we're an hour in. Congratulations, perfect score. Forgot to mention.
Oh
that
yeah,
at the top of the show.
win. I won.
Yeah.
Good for me.
Yeah, perfect score too.
There you
perfect
go.
Score.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But I wish Takeshita won because it would make perfect sense because it wasn't a title match. They could have they could have the title match next week and just have Takeshita lose if they wanted Mox to stay champion. And this is a controversial comment. I know. I'm kind of bored with Mox right now in general.
I see where you are. I mean,
I like him, but I'm bored with him.
And that's what I was just going to say. All his matches are good, and I see it's bad to say this too. Like, I don't care about them until they start. And then I'm like, man, that was really good.
Yeah. But it's not like it's not like a Chris Jericho where like, I don't want to see him.
Right.
That's not it. Like his matches are good. He's like good. He gets the crowd pumped. Like when he comes out, I pay attention. It's just, what's he doing? Like, what has he done for a while? Like, it's just,
yeah,
it just seems like they're a lot of like good random matches that don't really go anywhere. If that makes any sense.
Now, do you think that Takeshita? Do you think he's going to leave the Don Callis family? I have a theory.
I think I don't know, because he does kind of need a manager, because like he's not good at cutting his own promos, so he does kind of need a manager. But he does seem like he should be more of a face.
Agreed. Well, see, this is where my theory comes in. I think he leaves the Don Callis family and he joins Kenny for Team AEW, and then he becomes like the super Takeshita that he was before.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I could see it.
But wouldn't that leave the Don Callis family with just like, if Ospreay, I'm assuming Ospreay leaves too, isn't it just like Kyle Fletcher and Trent?
Well, see, I think Kyle Fletcher leaves because he'll stay with United Empire.
So Trent.
So yeah,
like Hobbs is hurt, so it's just Trent.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Maybe that goes my theory.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Takeshita, like they have kind of dropped the ball on Takeshita.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Because he was super over as a face, and then I was like, they turned him heel, and I was surprised, and I didn't think it would work. But then he like beat up Jericho and he beat up Omega, and like he seemed like he started wearing the leather jacket with no shirt, which for some reason on him looks cool, but on anyone else would look terrible. But he makes it works when he does it. It looks cool.
It works on a Hitman too.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Yeah.
And he needs sunglasses. That's what he needs.
When I do it, I get issued a citation.
Dope.
It's the patriarchy's fault there. Sorry. Not the Christian patriarchy, the other Christian patriarchy. But anyway,
that was a good one.
But I don't know. I feel like he was so over as a face, and then he managed to get over again as a heel, and then it's just been like,
yeah.
Like, what's he gonna do now?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't know.
At least if he beat Mox, he could talk about how he beat Mox.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know what he's gonna do. It sucks. I mean, I guess staying with Don Callis isn't bad. It's just that's not where I want him. I guess it's just being selfish.
I do wish he would have won, and I was actually really surprised he didn't win.
I agree with that.
You would just think it doesn't fit.
Yes. Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it. Yeah, like on paper it shouldn't work with him there, but it still kind of does. It's like 3/4 of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
He has managed. He's done a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Now, Rick, I'm going to give you the reins for this one because this match was fun. The TNT title, barbed wire steel cage match between champion Adam Copeland, Malachi Black. This was fun.
Yeah, it was great. I loved the Brood thing.
The Brood entrance was super cool. How on
I
earth?
saw someone say online that I think I said to you, I forget who it was. I should have written it down. Where like they forgot to trademark the Brood. They forgot to trademark Raider. The only thing they remembered to trademark was Edge.
Right.
Everything else they just like let him have. Because apparently I saw somewhere that he owns the trademark to the Brood now because they're selling shirts.
Right. And incredible. First off, that they would like just be that dense.
Because my first thought was, maybe it's too generic to trademark, right? It's like It's like you can't trademark the faction or something, right?
Right,
Like it's too generic. But like apparently, no, he owns the trademark now. He got it somehow, so good for him.
So hilarious. Now, what makes me funny? Wow, that was poor English. What I think is funny is that he will have to be paid royalties now whenever WWE runs anything on the Brood.
Oh yeah, that's true. They'll just edit that out, I guess. Yeah.
You'll never see it again on WWE.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the network. What are they gonna scratch?
Well, the network's gonna be gone when Netflix takes it. So.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So.
We'll
see.
Oh well. Okay.
Go
ahead.
They have to get Christian involved somehow, right?
Somehow.
Because Gangrel was there, the Brood.
Yeah. Wait, who was there?
They have to get Christian involved.
Who was there?
Gangrel.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, no one knows. Couldn't you tell by how no one reacted?
Right, how nobody went insane for a man in his late 50s with vampire teeth.
I do feel like they let the Brood thing expire because they're like, no one's gonna know what that means. And then
and then you have an arena full of people going utterly insane for a man in his 50s with vampire teeth. I mean,
wait, wasn't Gangrel the guy from the Smurfs?
Gargamel.
Gargamel, sorry. I'll shut up now.
That's all right. At least began with, you're good.
Close.
Yeah.
But no, it was not the guy from the Smurfs.
It was not the guy from the Smurfs.
That would have been cool though.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been really cool.
I would have freaked out if the guy from the Smurfs showed up. But didn't he have a cat?
Yeah, Azrael.
Yeah. There you go.
Come on, Smurfs.
That would have been fun.
100,000%.
Watch the Smurfs.
Way off topic, but when I was a kid, like the theme park here, Canada's Wonderland, used to have like a Smurfs theme for like the kids area. It's something else now, but it was a Smurfs theme when I was a kid, and they had this like Smurfs village that you could walk through, and there was like Smurfs and whatever, right? Like animatronic Smurfs. But then the final thing was like Gargamel's. I was gonna say Gargamel's lair, where like the floor was slanted and it was dark, and I was like 6. And I thought it was the coolest thing that I've ever seen in my life. It was probably just like, it was a crooked floor, but I was blown away by it. So yeah, Gargamel showing up would be cool.
That'd be sick wizard. I mean,
now I want a Gargamel character.
Yes, I want a Smurfs match.
Yes.
Smurfs. Jericho versus Gargamel.
Whoever wins gets to be a wizard.
Right. I'd vote for Gargamel. I'd pick
100%.
Nobody would cheer for Jericho at that point.
Okay. What did you think of Adam Copeland jumping off the top of the cage?
As it happened, I was like, that hurt. Like that was he landed on his feet.
Yes. And
he was trying not to land
broke
on
his
the
leg.
wire, but he landed on his feet from like a 20-foot jump. Like you're gonna get hurt. That was silly. He should know that.
Even if you're not even that high and you jump and you just hit that sting in your feet, that's all I can feel. Oh,
as it happened, I was like, he probably got hurt there. He actually got way more hurt than I thought he did, but like, I was pretty sure he got hurt.
Now, the only thing positive that came from this is somehow the ligaments in his knees didn't explode. Like, that's the first thing I thought of. Like, I mean, he literally
46 months isn't that bad.
Right.
It could have been way worse.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do that spot again, eliminate the barbed wire, stack up an additional table, put him on top of it, have the 2 tables eat the jump, and you just do a splash. That would have made so much more sense.
Here's the thing: they could have just not used real barbed wire there.
Or right there, good point.
Like the rest of the cage could have been real barbed wire, but like for that spot,
that one piece, right?
Just have it be just regular metal and not sharp. Like no one would have noticed.
Yeah, like have that one piece up there, and then be like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull this piece down,"
right?
You know,
and have that piece be like not sharp.
There you go. That solves the whole problem. We did learn from the Elite. We learned a bunch of things. The Elite had they did have a in-ring segment on Dynamite, and they stripped the title from Adam Copeland, and they tried to give it to Jack Perry.
See, this was weird. This is another thing I talked about, the weird timing on the show, because at the beginning of the show they announced that like the Elite will announce, the Young Bucks will announce the fate of the TNT title. I'm like, but they didn't tell you he was injured, and the Bucks then stripped him of the title. Like, I felt like it should have been either they start the show saying he's injured and we're going to tell you we're going to vacate the title and tell you what happens, or don't tell you anything and have the Bucks just say, oh, by the way, he's injured, so we're taking his belt.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't tease it and then like do it again. I don't know. It did feel like the show was very out of sorts.
Yeah,
like it was written on cue cards, and the cue cards got thrown out of order, and they kind of just, we're going to air, just put them back together, and like they're
whatever happened, right? I see that. Now, it looks like, well, to me, it looks like Christopher Daniels is going to be the like Tony Khan's mouthpiece, so Tony Khan doesn't have to be a on-screen character.
Great decision.
Wonderful decision. I mean, Christopher Daniels is great on the microphone, and I mean, he did like, I don't know if he's going to be a GM or just be like, you know, hey, Tony Khan said I'm going to do this, but
I have a weird nitpick about this though.
Okay,
it's going to make me seem like a stickler.
Go ahead, and then we'll announce the match. Go ahead.
Tony Khan is the president of AEW, right? Everyone knows that. It's like established on TV.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the Bucks are EVPs. So like when Tony Khan was gone, it would make sense. The president's not there. The EVPs are in charge.
Right.
But then Tony Khan comes back.
Yeah.
And the EVPs are still in charge.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
And then if you kind of did they you know, Jack Perry tried to beat him up on Double or Nothing. So maybe he's like too scared to show up at the shows anymore. Right. So he's putting Christopher Daniels in he'll take his role while he's not there because he's worried about getting attacked, right? Like, fine, okay, that makes sense. But then shouldn't Christopher Daniels be above the Young Bucks if he's Tony Khan's representative?
Exactly. So that's why I said I don't know what his role is.
And he said he's like an interim EVP, but if he's an EVP, then he would be at the same level as the Young Bucks. But if he's Tony Khan's representative,
true,
he should be above the Young Bucks.
That's a great point.
I know I shouldn't care about this. It's like,
I don't know, if you've worked for any company in America, it makes total sense. Nobody knows what he does. Nobody knows his title, but he gets paid more than you, and that just makes you mad.
Yeah, but if he gets paid more than you, then shouldn't he be like have more say?
You'd
right?
think.
Like the owner, you would think the owner of the company would have more say than like two guys. Like if the Young Bucks, which first of all, ironclad contracts makes no sense, but it's an established wrestling thing, so we're going to ride with it. We'll go with that, right? Well, fine.
Right.
Fine. For some reason, they can't be fired. Okay, fine. It's wrestling. Right. But you can't say Tony Khan is the owner of the company, but these other guys are somehow have more power than him. How?
It's just corporate America, Rick. It's just how it works.
Like at least when WWE did it, when they had like Ric Flair or Steve Austin be equal to Vince McMahon, they kind of explained it away with like, oh, Linda McMahon owns equal shares to Vince, so she has equal power, and she's giving her power to Austin or whatever, right? Like, okay.
Maybe the Young Bucks know how to make PDFs, and Christopher Daniels doesn't. If you've seen that trend going around,
but Tony Khan is only like 40, so he should know that too.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's fine. I'll ignore it.
Group knows how to make a PDF. That's all I'm saying.
I'll ignore it going forward. But for this episode, it confused me.
Okay. Well, he did announce that there is going to be 4 qualifier matches
on Friday Night Dynamite.
On Friday Night Dynamite, that's a good call. I forgot to write that down. The 4 Oh, did I write Friday Night Dynamite?
No, but he said Friday Night Dynamite, which is not a thing.
Oh yeah, he did say Friday Night Dynamite. Good, I forgot about that. I thought I wrote that in the notes. I was like, oh damn it, they
should have taken a shot at him. They should like I know he was a mistake, but the Bucks should have been like, you don't even know what the name of the show is or something. They should have said something.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what to do. You don't even know the name of the show. That would have been funny.
But
just keep cutting people off today. Continue.
You're fine. The
the
winners of those
like the Jericho thing, and now I'm all hyped up.
It's all good. The winners of those 4 matches are going to go on to a ladder match at Forbidden Door for the TNT title. obviously they're going to do 2 New Japan, 2 AEWs, right? I mean, come on. Yeah.
I hope that I'm glad it's not another tournament because they're already doing the Owen tournaments now, so I'm glad it's not another one.
Yes.
I hope the Bucks. I've been waiting for the Bucks to do this since they said they started this angle and they haven't done it. I want them to be like throw their weight around more. When they were in that tag tournament, I really wanted them to be like, we don't have to have a first round match. We're just giving ourselves a bye. Right. I want them to be like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Jack Perry's in a qualifying match, but it's against Jimmy Jojo Wrestler Man. And
right.
It's gonna be 15 seconds long. Like I want something like that to happen.
No, I totally agree. That would be incredible.
Do you think Jack Perry just ends up winning this anyway? I think he does.
I'd
be fine with that.
Yeah, totally fine with that. Unless they put it on Malachi. I was thinking that, like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm totally fine with Jack Perry, though.
I was really surprised Malachi didn't actually win that match.
I know. I did pick him, though. I think.
I was pretty sure he was going to win it, but he didn't.
Yeah. It was a great match. Oh.
It was a good match. I felt bad that Copeland hurt himself because it was a good match. He's been doing well. He's had a good run in AEW.
Yeah, and
I hope he doesn't follow the trend of former WWE wrestler comes to AEW, has a really good first year, gets injured, and then completely flies off the handle.
Yes, goes insane and
loses his mind and throws muffins at someone or something.
It goes back to WWE.
Yeah.
We had the first of the triple main events, the TBS Championship match, which I thought was placed perfectly. We were worried about that on our preview show.
Mm-hmm.
Willow versus Mercedes. These ladies get the standing ovation. What a freaking match!
I think this is the best match of the night.
They're both so good. They just are.
It was so good.
It was better. I thought it would be good. I think I predicted it would be the match of the night, but it was better than I thought it was going to be.
I agree. I mean, it looks like Mercedes has been wrestling like this entire time, and she just left like another company and missed like a week. You know, like
it was more technical than I thought it was going to be. It was harder hitting than I thought it was going to be. It had like a better story. It was a great match. It was a really great match.
Like the chemistry that these two have in the ring is like, I even wrote it in the notes. Like they could literally be feuding on and off for years, and it will just always make sense.
Yeah.
It it was so good.
Really great match. I loved every part of it, except I don't like Mercedes' finisher. I think she needs a better one.
What is? Oh yeah,
it's like she flips them around on her back or something. I feel like I think she needs like a more impactful finisher than that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was a really good match.
Really good match. Mercedes and or not Mercedes, excuse me, Stat and Stokely kind of inadvertently cost Willow the loss and then full blown turn on her. Then on Wednesday, Mercedes had the TBS Championship celebration. It was the kickoff of Dynamite, which I thought was cool. The other thing, I have to give Mercedes even more credit. The very first thing she did was put over Willow again. She has really put Willow over, like in these past 3 promos that they've done. So
now, is she a heel, Mercedes? I think she kind of is, but she's not.
Well, I think she is on that path currently, and
I think she should be because she's really good as a heel.
Yeah,
she's great as a heel. She does so well.
Like I keep saying, the EVPs need a CEO. I mean, come on, it writes itself.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't do what they did again. I talked about Punk a lot today, but I hope they don't do what they did with Punk, where like when he came back and had Collision and was like the real world champion. He was acting like a heel, but then they promoted him like a face.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do that with her. Like, I get that the crowd likes her and they want to see her, but she should just be a heel. Like, don't let her act like a heel, but then treat her like a face. Like, make her face bigger heels. Like, just go again all in on the heel turn and just let her be a heel.
I agree. Now, Sky Blue, what a perfect little promo that they put in during the celebration. She admits that she was the one to attack Mercedes. Was that a few weeks back? Which I think we as an audience knew, but I don't think Mercedes knew.
Yeah, and I think they kind of just threw that in there just to close the like it was like the MJF Adam Cole thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think the mystery attacker was supposed to be more involved with like Julia Hart, and then it wasn't. So they wanted to close that story and have her, and that was a good way to do it, just to have her say that it was her.
Right. And with Julia out with her shoulder injury, I don't think that it really affected Sky at all. Like, I don't want to say that she needed Julia, but I was worried that she might get lost in the shuffle. But that just totally blew my theory out of the water, and she proved me wrong.
Did you find it weird that they had the match the same day? I found that weird.
Yeah, and that leads me to believe that something happened or something was changed.
Because they also announced that Saraya Mariah May match, so then they moved to next week.
Right.
So which maybe it's did something happen? Was someone not cleared or someone not ready? Or
I'm wondering if Saraya's not cleared yet.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of is she was told she'd never wrestle again, and then I mean,
or maybe they have to check something, so they're going to give it another week or something like.
And okay, not to be.
And you can't have two women's matches on the same show. Maybe that's all it was.
True. Not to. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If we're being, not that the Sky Blue match and Mercedes really meant anything anyway, but it was at least a title match. Like, I'm sorry, Saraya versus Harley Cameron really doesn't.
No, it's Mariah May.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Mariah May, excuse me. I don't know why I said Harley Cameron. That doesn't do as much because there's no belt.
That's why I think they could have waited on. They could have hyped it up. They could have had it. Oh, next week. The Saraya match didn't really need hype. It could just happen.
That's what I'm. Yeah, exactly.
Whereas
that's what
this one, this could have gone another week or two. Like they could have said they're going to have this match in 2 weeks and hyped it up more. It was weird that they just had it kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, you explained it way better than I was doing. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
I feel like it was probably worse. Like maybe Saraya needs a test or
or they were
have
waiting
to check
for
something.
a result.
Yeah. They thought they'd get some clearance and then they didn't. They thought they'd have a result back and then they didn't or something.
So that was my match of the night for Dynamite. So good. But then Mercedes retains. She wins, of course. And then at the top of the ramp, we get our first appearance of Stephanie Walker from CMLL. She opens a forbidden door. And she's the first to open the forbidden door. And
that was also weird how they aired a promo video for her, and then she showed up. Like it was a little, I don't know, it was a little weird. It felt like.
See, that was the hand holders to all the people. Like, how are you supposed to know who that is?
I get that, but it was weird.
Complaining, who is she?
It was weird to show a promo video. She's coming to AEW, and then 20 minutes later, she's at AEW. Like it seemed a little.
Right. That match is going to be bonkers. Stephanie Walker.
I don't know anything about her, but
just YouTube Stephanie Walker.
How long do you guys think Mercedes is going to hang on to that title?
A while.
Like how long? I mean, it's going to be a while, right? I mean, it's Mercedes.
I think a while.
I'm thinking, and this is just me being petty. Does she beat Jade?
No, because that was too long.
Race Jade's record for Mercedes.
I think
Seriously,
that was too long. I think that would be too
60
long.
matches. Okay.
I mean, if she does it fast, maybe. But then there's also the number of days, right? Like Jade was champion for 500 days or something. It was too long.
Yeah, that's true. I was going with more of the matches, but yeah, that's true. Jade has it is 500 days.
Yeah, it's too long.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think she is going to have it for a long time to reestablish it. Not that it was not established, but they're going to establish it more on a hot. It'll be more on par, especially if we think Toni Storm isn't losing the title for a while, which is fine. This is going to be like the TNT title where it's the workhorse title where she wrestles, or not the TNT title, the international title, one of the titles. Anyway, she's going to wrestle a lot.
Agreed. Well, then we had main event number 2, which, I mean, not that we're going to gloss over this, but everyone kind of knew how this was going to end. Swerve, who is our champion, versus Christian. I mean, Christian's incredible. He's on the run of a lifetime.
This is a great match.
It was a fantastic match. But it's one of those matches like everybody knew Swerve was winning.
Right. But they still did a good job with it.
Did a great job. Like it was that they told a story in the ring. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then on Dynamite we had Swerve versus Killswitch, and Swerve did the little post-match promo that Killswitch had to get the kill shot. I thought that was really cool.
And it made sense. Like this was a match where, like, again, you knew Swerve was going to win, but if I felt like it was different from like the Mox Rocky Romero match, because at least there was a reason for this match. Like, oh, Killswitch is like Christian's right-hand guy. So like it makes sense to also want to take him out. I liked it.
Oh, I liked the whole thing, but it was just, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
Then we had our main event of the night. The Anarchy in the Arena, Team AEW versus Team Elite. By the time that this match started, we were into midnight, so it was well over a 4-hour pay-per-view. Before we get into this, I just want to say to the people that were online complaining that it was too long, anytime you get like more for your money, don't complain.
Yeah. Like I was tired by the end. I legitimately was tired. But,
same.
But it was good and I enjoyed it. And if you had to go somewhere the next day, like I know it was Memorial Day in the US, but like if you had something to do and you couldn't stay up, just stop and watch it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
Like I'm not going to complain about.
Yeah.
I paid money for something, and if there's a lot happening, and it's not like it was boring, right? If it was 5 hours long and it was dull,
yeah,
but it wasn't. So,
well, somebody I think I quoted it and sent it to you, Rick. Somebody actually pointed out that, like, yes, there was this pay-per-view was like 4.5 hours long, but there was more wrestling on it than both nights of WrestleMania.
And it was like, it was long. It was long, but it didn't drag.
Right.
Like I didn't watch all of WrestleMania this year. I watched just the main events, but there was a couple of years ago since they've gone to Peacock, because Peacock has like the 2-tiered thing where it's like the no ads one and then the ads one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So they can't, there's ads during, if you're watching WrestleMania and you have the ads pro one, you get ads during the show. So they can't do anything during that time because some people have ads, right? So the they show like
boring.
They show a promo video of like the last match that you just saw for 2.5 minutes so that they can do something. And then they show a promo video for the next match. So if you have the no ads one,
oh god,
you watch like 6 minutes of promo videos in between every single thing that happens. It's a lot.
Oh, good Lord.
Anyways, but this match was insane. This match was violent. Darby got run over by a bus, like in real life and in this match, which is kind of funny. And then he lit Jack Perry on fire with a flamethrower.
Why didn't he light Chris Jericho on fire?
It's a great question.
How upset is Eddie that he didn't get to be in this match? Because he wanted to set someone on fire, and he probably was going to set someone on fire.
Right.
And then Darby got to do it. And he's like, "No, that was me. That should have been me."
I could just hear Eddie. No, it was supposed to be me.
I was supposed to be setting someone on fire.
I also like how last year that when Eddie tried to do it, like Danielson flipped out and was like, no, you can't do that. Well, like this year it actually happened, and like after the match Danielson gets pinned and just walks away. Like he like didn't flip out on Darby. He was like
the Dynamite before, he like was all with Darby, right?
That's true.
Like he was all in on it. This match I liked it. It was, I don't know, it felt like it was cut into segments. Like the first half with like them playing Final Countdown while they were fighting was incredible. Yeah. I loved it.
Yes.
So they had that segment. I loved Matt Jackson saying that this is costing us too much money, so we have to stop. That was fun. That was funny.
That was hilarious.
Then there was the second segment of the match where everyone just tried to hurt each other, right? Like they were setting each other on fire, hitting each other with buses, like going through tables off ramps. Like it was just madness.
Did you guys see the video? I guess like somebody or Jack Perry is driving like the bus for real.
Yes, he's
like
driving
down
it from
the
like
road.
venue to venue. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
That's incredible. Yeah,
I love it.
Good.
Really on the road, like driving.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that he bought, or Tony Khan bought, a bus,
right.
spray painted it black, and wrote scapegoat on the front, and he just drives it around.
It's
right.
so good.
It's so good.
But then the third part of the match, I felt like dragged a little bit. Once they did the crazy stunts and they set Jack Perry on fire, they did that. I totally understand. You're gonna hang Darby up from the thing.
Yeah.
You have to make sure he's tied up properly.
Right.
Of course. Right. But then they could have had like the Jacksons tie him up while Okada and Danielson were like fighting on the outside.
Right.
And showed that fight for 5 minutes while they tied him up, instead of just showing the ring for 5 minutes while they're slowly tying him up. And especially because before that, they also did now Okada is going to put on an armband that has tacks on it. And that took 5 minutes of like showing the crowd the armband. And then he put the armband on, and then he clotheslined someone. And then he brought out shoes, and they held up the shoes. And the shoes have thumbtacks, and everyone spends some time watching while he puts on the shoe. Like, and it was like 12:30 at night. And I'm just like, I know what you're doing. Do it twice as fast. Because like I don't know. The match was good, but like that segment in the ring where the Bucks were being the Bucks was too long, too slow. Mm-hmm. Especially because like the first half of it was like, we're gonna have music playing, we'll be jumping off barriers, and guys are getting hit with buses. Someone's gonna get set on fire. Now let's wait while we tie some knots.
Yeah, I totally like.
So I'm really hyped up today. I didn't.
You're good. I totally agree, and that's one of the reasons I hate West Coast pay-per-views, because like, you know, you have to realize like it was 12:30 here, but it's what 8:30 there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like still like early evening, so everyone was still hyped over that, and we just wanted it to end. Like, you know,
I just think they could have done something while all that was happening instead of just showing the ring.
I agree. And I wish they would have used more of at the beginning when they had the 4 cameras set up and had the 4 screens live. I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, I wish they used it more because it was
fun.
It
it was awesome.
It's weird that they didn't use it more.
I wonder if like something went haywire, like if they couldn't get it to like work again or something, like they cut away and then went to cut back and it didn't work.
Yeah,
because it was there and then it just wasn't there ever again.
It was weird that they only used it for like a couple minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're gonna fast forward to Jack Perry pinned Bryan Danielson, which I thought was
with a knee.
Yes, and
basically Danielson's move.
Yeah, I think that's a precursor to something we're gonna see between now and Danielson's career. I think we're gonna get a little Jack Perry Danielson. Can we talk about how much I laughed whenever Okada yelled, "Shut up, bitches"?
Shut up, bitches.
I laughed more when they gave him the card. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited! I'm gonna cry!" And then just like wiped the smile and just was completely serious. I didn't know he was funny, but he's funny.
He's unbelievably hilarious. And then I also noticed the past 2 weeks, Matt Jackson has been wearing pearls, and the only other man I ever knew in wrestling that wore pearls was Ricky Starks. So I think the Bucks don't do anything that's not on purpose. Mm-hmm. I think that is a little on the nose that Ricky Starks is going to join.
I mean, Tony Khan gave a weird interview. Someone asked him about Ricky Starks, and he kind of gave this roundabout answer of like, "We'd love Ricky Starks. We'd love to have him on TV." And people are like, "But you can decide."
Yeah, you could totally do that.
You're the boss.
You run the company.
It's your company.
So it's either Ricky Starks is leaving, or he has a plan and doesn't want to tell you the plan. So I hope that you're right. Yeah.
Well, it could literally be either of those. That's what I was just going to say. It's one of those two things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do kind of hope that both Ricky and Sammy, who haven't been on TV, I kind of hope both of them join the Elite.
Same here. Oh, that'd be sick.
Make it like late stage NWO, where like half the rosters in the Elite and every segment is just them.
Well, I was going to say you could have half the pillars in the Elite and half the pillars on Team AEW.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
You know, like have Kenny Omega like draft, like quote unquote draft like MJF, and that'd be
fun.
That would be super fun. All in all, I thought the pay-per-view, I think it was, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Not that
it was really good. I was surprised by some of the people who won. I was really surprised that Takeshita lost. I was really surprised that Adam Copeland retained. But
yeah,
I really liked the show.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like you said at the beginning, you might not be as hyped in the long run for the AEW pay-per-views, but everyone delivers, so you're hyped afterwards, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
We had a question this week from Digital Gemini from our Mastodon account. And
at Elite City Pod something Mastodon. I don't know how Mastodon works anymore.
If you just type in a majority of it now, like you don't need the server name or anything anymore. So
you don't need that anymore. Okay.
Yeah, if you just add Elite City Pod, it comes up. And
we are at Elite City Pod at mastodon.world, but I don't think that matters. But yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to do that anymore. Our logo will come up, and
go to elitecitypod.com and you'll find all our social stuff on there.
That's even better. I always forget we have that. I do, and it's only been 2 years. Digital Gemini wanted to know, do you guys think it will be Swerve versus Ospreay this year at All In? And if so, do you think we get a rebooted Hangman character coming back to cost Swerve the title and join the Elite?
I do think it'll be Swerve versus Ospreay at All In. I think I predicted that on our prediction show, so I really hope it is, so I can
you did.
Sound smart. I think this Swerve Ospreay match, I don't think Ospreay wins. I think there's like a screwy finish, and I think they wait till All In to have I think Ospreay wins the title at All In.
I agree with that. I agree with the rebooted Hangman character, but I don't know if he's going to be a heel.
I don't think he costs Swerve the title, because I think if Ospreay's going to win the title in England, I think it's going to be a clean win for him.
Yeah, so.
But I want to know what Hangman does. I don't know if he's going to be.
100%.
He is going to. I think he is going to be a heel because he left as a heel. Like, he was kind of heelish when he left.
True.
But I don't know if he joins the Elite or not. I kind of hope he doesn't, because he seems to kind of get lost when he joins the Elite.
Kind of like a little bit of what Kyle O'Reilly's doing.
Yeah.
Like, so acknowledges that we're friends, but I'm going to stay on the outside for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that.
Something like that.
I'll take that. Jay, you still with us? What do you think?
I'm here. I'm pretty much on the same page as Rick. I don't think I have anything to add to that. Rick summed it up pretty well.
Yeah.
Sick.
Rick's like, yay, people agree with me.
Right.
Well, on that note, does anybody have anything to add? Because we're approaching.
No, it's been a long one. But it's been
a long one. Yes.
Sorry that I went kind of hardcore on some of these topics, but
no, it's all good. It's all part of the fun.
I don't know why. I got hyped up.
Oh, excuse me. It's been very fun.
Forbidden Door is always interesting. It's like Forbidden Door for the pay-per-view is always fun. Like, the matches are always incredible. It's always good. It is kind of, I like that. I didn't say this when we were talking about Swerve and Ospreay at All In at Forbidden Door. Sorry. I like that they're having them at Forbidden Door also, because it does seem like every year all the existing storylines kind of stop for a month. Yeah. And then we do New Japan versus AEW. And then once that's over, we go back to those storylines. I kind of like that they're like, no, things just continue. Like, whether we're having this pay-per-view. It's like when you watch like a sport, like when you watch hockey, like they have an all-star game in the middle of the season, but the season continues. They don't stop everything and forget about everything that happened that season and then have it all. And like, no, it continues. So I like that they're kind of continuing the AEW storylines and then involving people from New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't agree more. It's going to be so much fun. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for listening this week. Don't forget, we are at Elite City Pod on all social medias. drop us a like, drop a comment. Please comment. That helps.
And share and subscribe and rate and all that stuff.
All that helps the algorithm.
Rating helps a lot. Do that.
Yeah. We're growing here, so anything that you can do can help us. Thank you. So until then, next week. Later.